Hi there! How's everybody doing? This is your week 1 feedback video. And if you have any questions about the grade you received this week, just let me know and we'll iron things out. Just want to talk to you about each image, and then we'll go ahead and do the final work. If you want to resubmit anything because you lost points, feel free to do so. Just let me know. Okay, so here's Abby's first sketchbook assignment, and I think that looks great. Love your little bit of detail here. A little dark here. You can make sure you leave some white. That's all I have to say about that. Remember, this is just practice too. And this looks really good as well. This just reminds me of David Hockney. You guys should look him up. His landscape work. And yep, well done on that one as well. Let's see, here's Bailey. Bailey really got a nice shine. So that white really does pop, makes a difference. And I like Bailey's second assignment as well. What I really like down here is how you made the lines begin before the cliffs, or whatever those are, hills, and then continue them behind. That helps a lot to create the illusion that, we're going back into space. Okay, I move myself out of the way here. Here's Chloe's. I'm going to make this one smaller so you can see it. Great, great, great. Beautiful flag. And number 2, she had to go all horizontal on us. I wasn't expecting that. This is lovely. I love your shading on the cylinder, and I know you have experience, so that really shows. Here's Haley's. Nicely done. I think that this is kind of a weird way to make a sphere. I wonder if you guys thought that as well. It kind of works in some cases. And yes, this looks very good too. You're missing a little bit of shading here, but I wouldn't worry about that because this is our practice. And Ian obviously got some previous skills. Look at the texture on that leaf. That's great. Here I see that you add some rounded shading, which is something that I like to do as well. I don't know if it works completely on this, like vertical surface, but it still looks amazing. I mean, do you know what I mean? It's not actually billowing outward. So like a bubble-shaped curve. But great, great, great. Okay, this one we're looking at sideways. Looks awesome. And here's Ivy's. I love Ivy that included the face. That's so cute. That guy is adorable. With the cylinder, you want to make sure that the bottom is curved. That's something that a lot of people do. And once you know that, you'll be fine. Okay, this looks nice. I would make sure that you do the ends and make sure that you can see the gradual tones from dark to light to dark. But like I said before, with others, it's just our practice. And week 1 practice, no less. Okay, here's Remy. This one looks great. You have some ease to your lines that it feels, like you're not worried about anything, just relaxed. And this one is great as well. Really like your sphere. Alright, let's go ahead and look at our week 1 project, continuous line. Got a lot of variances here with how people did things. And that's to be expected because, let me just show you something real quick. When I think of continuous line, I always think of Alexander Calder. And his wire sculptures. Because to create a wire sculpture, there's no way that you can pick up the line and put it back down. It's just one thing. So it's one piece of wire. And, you know, if he had to go ahead and, oh, Pinterest. Pinterest is evil. No, it's not really. I just hate it. So you see with his wire sculpture here that he wound it around, you know, kind of like how we had to go over the same line to get back to another place. And it's just, it's such an easy way to explain continuous line. So it's not ever going to look amazing, but you can see that the line never stops and starts. It's one continuous line. So that's the whole focus of that project. So doing it correctly is really all that you needed to do. You just needed to make sure that your line is continuous and you're not stopping and starting. So like for example here with Abby's, I mean this is it looks like I'm seeing the end of a line here, and you know, I may be wrong. You may have gone over and back over this line to get around, but it does look like the end of a line to me. So she does have her progress photos. Great job on that part, Abby. And then I do see you going around again. But then up here, and I can't tell for sure, but it does look like lines that are stopping and starting. So like I see the end of a line here. And, it's not intended to be great. Yeah, and I do see evidence of you keeping that line from stopping and starting, but like, with this cup over here, that absolutely had to stop at the end and stop at the handle. So that's the challenge. That's the whole challenge this week. So there are some things where I see stopping and starting. But other than that, great drawing. And then Bailey, this is great because she stopped at the beginning, took a little progress photo. Here we have her second progress photo, looks awesome. And then her final continuous line drawing. And there's things that I absolutely like about it. I do see how you went over your lines. I definitely wouldn't have done this circular shape around the face, only because it goes across the nose. Other than that, it's fine. And then I feel like these are stop and start. I do see some endings, but I mean, I appreciate all of your progress photos. And then here's Chloe. I love that Chloe showed the image that she's working from so that we have a reference point. And I can see where she began. I love that. And here she's adding, I can see she's going around and around the spheres, the shapes of the oranges, in order to get back to where she wants to add more detail. So that's really smart. But remember, Chloe has experience. So again, beautiful, and I love the way that you added the shadow. This, I would say, is a pretty perfect example of continuous line drawing. Okay, and here's Donovan. I know Donovan had some trouble and he had some questions, and I know, like, if this is your first drawing, I completely understand. However, we do need to work on drawing paper, like solid white paper. We do need to have, the right materials. I think for this one it was pen. So it does look like a used pen, but it's just, you know, different kind of paper. And then you also need your progress materials. I mean, what did I say? I meant your solid paper with no lines. Not progress materials. I don't know where that came from. And then here as well, Donovan, I see your lines that stop and start. So you started out really great, and you did all of this excellently, and then you got up here, and you know, that's well done as well, but then when you added the eyes, you stopped and started. So so just missing a few things there. Okay, here's Haley, and I thought immediately, okay, it's a banana. But she fooled us. It's a banana. No, it's not. So I really like how, Haley, how you started with the shape that's right in front of us and then added, you know, what's happening in the middle ground, you know, the other side of the dish. So that looks great, and I love how you went around and around, and that gave us some not only texture but shading. Okay, here's Ian's. Ian, I think this is an adorable mushroom, and I think that I can tell that you did a single line. However, I wonder if this is from a real image, you know, like, or, you know, is it a photograph? Is it a cartoon? Is it an object that's sitting in front of you? That was one of the things that we needed to do, but I understand if you missed that this week. I'm super proud of you for having 3 progress images. This is great, great, great. And you went from one mushroom to the other. So very smart. Very, very smart. And your shading is beautiful. Yeah, this is a great, great example. Okay, here's Ivy. Ivy, I also am not sure if this is from a photograph. I guess it can't be something that's right in front of you because it's a flower that's standing up on its own, whereas a flower standing up on its own couldn't happen unless it was maybe inside of a vase. And I see that you are going over your lines. I see where you began. And it's a very pretty line. And your next one, also very pretty. So we can get to the others. It's so interesting to me how the color of the light changes while you were progressing throughout this drawing. I think that's really cool. These parts of the leaf do look like they stop and start. However, I am not sure because you totally could have gone over your lines there. And then your final in the cooler part of the day. So cute. So very nicely done. I just don't know what your reference was, you know, if it was a photograph. Okay, here's Rami's first one. I'm like immediately thinking lily pad with this one, but very well, very, very nicely drawn. I love how you did the texture of what I'm guessing that this is like wood grain texture. That is just beautifully done. And yeah, excellent work. And I imagine that this is probably, you know, on an extra wooden piece, the sculpture of the duck, you know, and then you added part of this as reference. So that is super well done. All right, everybody, I'll go ahead and put your grades in for this week and just let me know if you have any questions.